All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday gathering for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut's Legacies, the TokiTV, meeting each and every week for Toki's family actions to help save Toki's family. So let's go around the room real quick and just do some quick hellos, and then we'll get into our program. I'm going to start with Christina, who might be the only one not having tech issues today.
I'm great. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm happy for all of you people on the screen and off the screen with us. And I'm really interested to hear what we're going to talk about with Santana and Raynell.
Awesome. Thanks, Christina. Deb Cruz.
Howdy do.
Howdy do.
Life is.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here. And Howard, how's it going for you?
It's going well here. Like in the past couple of weeks, we have multiple groups of big transient orcas all over in the South Puget Sound and Saratoga Passage. No sign of southern residents since August 21st, but they're out there catching fish. So all's well.
Awesome. Thanks, Howard. And Ma, how are you in Florida?
Yeah, all good, thanks. What they said.
Sounds good. We're going to try Marcia's microphone here. Marcia, how are you?
Good. Just got home a week ago from our trip, and it was magical and wonderful, and still putting stuff away. I brought back like bags of rocks. I don't know why, but anyway, lovely time. Glad to be back though.
Awesome. Well, it's good to have you with us from home. So happy
to be here. Thank you.
And Sk'aliCh'elh, Raynell, how are you today?
I'm doing really well. We had a wedding yesterday, so there's love in the air around Lac-Mégantic territory.
That's really great. Yay. And then today we have with us Santana Rabang. Let's see. Santana, can you hear us okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we hear you perfectly, and your camera's good. I guess we just had to go live. It's perfect. So Santana, you're with Children of the Setting Sun Productions, and just to, if you could give the audience just a little background about you and how you got involved, how long you've been there before we get into the specifics on the film.
Okay. I've been working at Children of the Setting Sun Productions for, I think, a combination of almost 3 years now. I had a little bit of a break. I had the opportunity to go work for tribal council out in Lummi, but unfortunately my boss didn't get reelected in, and so my journey took me back to Children of the Setting Sun Productions. So I've been back there for about 6 months now, and my journey brought me there through Daryl's daughter. Actually, I made a really good connection with Daryl Hilaire is our executive director at Children of the Setting Sun Productions, and Tawny Hilaire is his daughter. And I was a student at Northwest Indian College, and she kind of just recommended me to Daryl because he was looking for an assistant at the time. So I started off working as Daryl's assistant, but the more him and I got to know each other, he kind of realized that I had a passion for productions and just being more creative in the creative realm of things. And so I got pulled into productions, and I've done a little bit of work on the Young and Indigenous podcast. And right now I'm working within the Setting Sun Institute department, which is a new department that's that's been in the works now at Children of the Setting Sun Productions for quite some time now. And we're having our launch party in October. So that's what's been on my plate right now and preparing for that. So that's been super exciting.
Annette, are you muted?
Yeah, I was. I'm usually the one telling everyone else you're on mute. I'm looking forward to. I watched Our Sacred Obligation, and I'm looking forward to watching it here with everyone, which we're about to do. We're having a viewing party here, and then we can talk more about it after. But is there anything you would like to share with the audience before we watch the film? Anything, key things they should look out for? Maybe tell us a little bit about how that started, that's a particular film.
Yeah. So our sacred obligation is really, I mean, the title stands alone in itself. It really just speaks to the obligation that we all have as a people to Mother Earth. And this film specifically, there's two key characters that I would like to highlight, and that's Amy Cordalis and Francis Charles. Amy Cordalis is from the Yurok tribe, and Francis Charles is the chairwoman of AWA. And this video really follows their work and the work that they've done within dam removal and restoring salmon. And Amy, I've gotten the chance to meet both Amy and Francis in person, and they're such just inspiring women, and they've definitely inspired me a lot in the little time that I've gotten to know them. And I think this film really just speaks to us highlighting the work that they've been doing. And yeah, I think that's all I can say for right now, and I can answer any questions after the film.
That sounds good. And I was just going to say to folks watching, if you have a question as you're watching, just go ahead and put it in the chat, and we'll try to get to questions after or write it down, and then we can do a little Q&A after. Is everybody ready? Yeah. Well, look, we have our Germany Toki crew on. I do want to say hi to Maria and Ola and Elias. Miss you guys. Okay, let's watch the film. Here we go.
Oh, hewa atau. Ana kus klaag ma pawiana weta pawata atau kus he.
Yurok people have always been on the Klamath River. The creator made the land, made the water, made the animals, made the plants and the trees, and then made the humans last, and said, this is all here for you, and I've made it for you. And if you take care of it, if you live in balance with all of this, you will never want for anything. You will always have enough. We said, all right, we'll be the protectors. It was a cultural covenant to protect all the things that we rely on. About 200 years ago, white people came. And since then, we've been going through colonization. We've always been fishing people. We fish the same family of fish today that our family has always fished for. It's the same run. Those same salmon always call us home, and they give us place and they give us purpose. In 1855, the Yurok Reservation was created. We were supposed to have reserved our Aboriginal rights to continue our fishing way of life, to continue that exercise of that cultural covenant. But meanwhile, about 1902, and at the top part of the river, the feds authorized one of the largest federal reclamation projects in the whole country. They essentially took the headwaters of the river and completely redid the plumbing. They drained the wetlands, they moved the riverbeds, they did all these things to essentially create this land for agriculture. In the middle part of the river, they built 4 dams without fish ladders. The lowest dam is called Iron Gate, and that is literally what it is from the salmon's perspective. There's no fish ladder, there's no way for it to get past that Iron Gate. The river was colonized, the fish were colonized, the people were colonized, and all of that essentially was happening through like the 1960s.
Water is a prime necessity, without which the nation cannot prosper.
In that time, the agricultural project up the river, which is called the Klamath Reclamation Project, expanded, and they wanted more and more water. And so they kept diverting more and more water out of the river. In the 90s, that's when we started seeing the salmon runs really start to decline in a real significant way. The fish were just never going to make it. The river was never going to make it. We have that great privilege of living from the salmon, but along with that privilege comes that duty of stewardship. I always think about that original agreement we made with the Creator. It was a cultural covenant to protect all the things that we rely on. What's interesting, I think, about being a Yurok now is that we exercise that duty. Our modern tribal government is charged with putting the weight of its sovereignty behind enforcing that caretaker role. And we use our own traditional knowledge, our ecological knowledge, and we sort of marry that with modern science and law and policy, and that's been our approach to river restoration.
In 1994, we created the Yurok tribe. So once we create our own constitution and our own form of government, that established us to have water right. And through trial and error and resiliency, through court and through treaties, it proved that we had a senior water right that was well established before the development of the Klamath Basin Irrigation District. Our water rights, our dam removal, this is all a lifetime of work. We need those dams out of here. If we want to restore our river to a natural state, then we need those out of there. That's going to give our salmon the best opportunity to survive.
We're about 6 miles up from the Elwha mouth. This location itself was what we called the lower dam. Behind it was a lake. A lot of the water had covered what we're looking at right now that was underwater. We would see a big pool of water that was below the dam. The fish was just mingling around in the pool, trying to make their way up past the dams. After the dam started being released, this was the first place we seen that first salmon make its path across their blockage.
So when they first started working on the dams, our people did their best to speak up as loud as they could. We told them the salmon are going to die. But to speak up back then, it was useless. Nobody listened back then to Native people. It was like we were not here. The colonization of our people, the dams are a part of that colonization. That is what brought in all the new settlers. So it changed us dramatically. We lost all our songs. We lost our language. And the dams just was another thing to add to kill our spirit.
We were the original environmentalists and we were the original managers.
The resistance never died. It kept on and on. Eventually, people started understanding, and then people started buying in. The people started wanting to be part of the movement. People wanted to better the Elwha, and they want our salmon runs, the wild salmons, to come back. I always wondered, what would that be like, to witness the dams come down? Is it going to really change us? Are we just going to be the same? And it actually lit our light in our spirit, all of us. I hope and pray that the Elwha River flourishes with many, many salmon, but our people have agreed not to fish the Elwha River until we see better numbers.
We're on the Elwha River, and our job is to ID the fish, count them, and send them on their way. And we use this information to, gauge how the salmon populations in the Elwha are doing. And we're seeing a lot of good things happen on this river. And this is part of telling that story.
They come back right away, they come back and they went farther out the river. It was one of the biggest moments, to keep asking, how far are they going? How far are they going? Oh, this one's up there about 50 miles. Dang. We're within a mile of a couple of places where I know that just loads up every year with salmon now.
With dam removal, we've seen this place just skyrocket in terms of fish productivity. We've gone from no salmon to having a thriving population of Chinook, coho, steelhead, now pink salmon.
First day that lower dam was taken out was the first day we seen that salmon make that cross, and we knew that the prayers had been answered. We will see those salmon come back. We will witness the plentifulness that our elders talk about. It is still closed to any fishing, but in a couple years we are looking at opening it back up for families to be able to go back and start fishing. There was no words that could express the day when we seen that first dam being removed. There was no words. 100 years it had taken us to get those dams out. 100 years our ancestors had fought. It was the women at that time that went back to DC and fought for what we had fought for what you're fighting for right now. They told us that it would not happen, and it happened.
You paved the way.
When I think about my community in Warm Springs, when I go home, I went home for 7 years and worked for the tribe, and there were a lot of things that were broken, and I kept asking why. And when I come here along the river and I look and I see that river and I say, I'll never know what it's like to stand along that river. I can feel it. I feel it pull me, but I'll never know because that river's been silenced. Our villages were flooded, our grave sites were desecrated, our way of living was taken away. And then they ask you, why are you broken? My work around the environment, and in particular, the Snake River issue, is tied to that belief of healing, of hope, of knowing that if we take care of the salmon, we take care of our relative, Waikanish, if we do that, we will be okay.
2002, I was working for the Yurok Tribal Fisheries Department. My job was to count fish, and I loved it. I was on the river all the time. I was talking to the people. I was counting fish. It was fantastic. September comes around, big run of fall Chinook salmon, like beautiful big salmon. At the top of the Klamath River, there's this huge irrigation project. It was a drought year, and so they diverted all of this water away from the river to irrigation. And within days, the fish started dying. And over a 2-week period, there's estimates somewhere between 70,000, 100,000 adult Chinook salmon died. I remember sitting in the boat and I thought, I've got to do all I can to make sure this never happens again. And then my next thought was like, well, I'm going to law school, and that's it. It was the most, one of the biggest tragedies in all of Yurok history. But the silver lining was that it really was like the canary in the coal mine, kind of sounding the alarm that if we didn't change the way that things were done on the river, we were essentially going to kill the whole river. And so people started getting together and talking about how can we remove dams.
Bring the salmon home! Undam the planet! Bring the salmon home! We don't care! Undam the planet! Bring the salmon home! Undam the planet! Bring the salmon home! Undam the planet!
When you try to get your song, you go out on your own. You go by yourself. It has to be a desire inside you. It has to be a purpose that you have inside yourself. Nobody telling you that you need to go do this. This is something you do on your own. And so you'll come down here, like that creek over there. You go over there to the side of the creek and just sit there. And you just sit there and you think, and you be quiet. You be quiet. Like we are now. And you hear how the water hits that rock down there. You hear the little trinkle. And you listen to the wind. You listen to the birds. And you just start singing a little bit. You start moving it, moving your voice with the water. And then you'll find your song. Being a salmon people, we depend on them, not just for food. They actually control our well-being. Fishing gave me so much. And when I was younger, we had a lot more salmon than we have now. And it made our family really tight. And over the years of my lifetime, I've seen how the abundance of salmon impacted our families and communities. And then right now, we don't have any right now. And there's a lot of our people that are suffering.
Nothing tonight, man.
So there are everything. It was a 30-year-long fight. And we're gonna see the fruits of that labor here next year. January of 2023, they're gonna start drawing the water levels down so that we can start deconstructing the dams.
We as a nation, if we don't sort of embrace that, rivers need water, salmon need water, and we have to put legitimate legal protections on in-stream flows for fish and that baseline ecological health for rivers, we're going to lose all of our salmon. That's an unacceptable outcome. If the salmon no longer exists, then we don't. You can't have a fishing lifestyle if there's no fish, and we won't allow that to happen. The salmon people won't allow that to happen.
Hey, Yahweh, Yahweh, go.
Hey, yeah, we go. Ninny, hey, we go. While things have changed, they will change again, and that we will continue our sacred obligation to be those stewards, to love these places, to speak for the salmon, and to bring them back when the time comes. The work that you have done, you brought the salmon home. And in doing that, you have shown that all of us can do it. And we will do it, and we are doing it. That's what we're doing on the Klamath. Those dams are gonna come down in about 1.5 years. And we talk about the Elwha all the time, you know, and say things like, well, they did it, we're doing it. You know, in the law, they call that precedent, right? You set the precedent. So those dams will come down. And just like they're gonna come down on the Klamath, they're gonna come down on the Columbia, they're gonna come down on the Snake. And we will move through the salmon nations, removing these dams, because that's who we are and that's why we're here.
We're strong. We're very, very powerful. When all of the nations walk in together and everybody's saying the same thing, that's a message that is very powerful.
All of our indigenous people were tied together through the salmon. We want to create a song for that, for all of our neighboring tribes all the way down, to really bring our people together and stand together and work together. When we make drums, we always have that prayer that wherever this drum is going, that gift of song goes with that drum too. Today, you know, this song that we're sharing comes from my son. The first part, hey, hey, oh, 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 hey. The second part, hey, hey, oh, oh, oh. How does that part go? See, it drops down. You guys catching it? Jefferson, got it? Jode?
Even though this old spider falls is sleeping over here, roar of the falls echoes in our heart.
I want to be able to fish that spot before I die. But if I can't do it, I want our children to be able to do it.
We have a responsibility to continue to fight in whatever way that we can.
It wasn't just about the fishing, it was about everything. It's about the culture, it's about the livelihood, it's about the environment, it's about the gratitude of that protection.
We're in this massive climate crisis. And the idea that you can just extract and pollute and consume without consequence is over. And I think the rest of the world is seeing that, and they're now looking to the salmon people to say, you know, what were the sort of grounding principles about how you interacted in balance with the natural world? And how can we apply those to get better environmental outcomes and to pull us out of this climate crisis? That's my hope, and that's where I think we're going in the future. And, you know, the only thing is like, can we act fast enough? You know?
Wow.
Mm.
That's my second time watching it this weekend, and I picked up so much more. So for everyone who watched it, I strongly encourage you to, we'll put some links up so you can go watch it again. Santana, that was really well done. Your mic is muted, but I don't see any questions, but I do see people saying, yeah, it's so well done. Everyone in the world needs to see this. A powerful movie, well done to everyone involved. Thank you, and your part in that. That was just, it was great. It was great.
It was really well done. It was very powerful, and I got the goosebumps, because it's really all of our responsibility, to take care of Mother Earth, right? And so it was kind of emotional for me, and I really liked the part about finding your song.
Yeah. Right. That was really cool. So many parts of that, and gives hope too. Hearing the power in her voice and saying, just like the Klamath, so will a Columbia. I mean, I got chills on that part because I'm like,
yeah,
absolutely. Like I still have chills. I reminded myself. Holy moly, Marcia's got her hand up. Go ahead, Marcia.
I just have a question. Well, I have a couple, but do you think that the same strategy used will be able to make progress breaching the lower Snake River dams? So what was
Yeah.
the strategy?
Yeah, I think that's, was the hope in this as well, is just these gatherings really allow us the opportunity to connect with one another, because it seems that in times, when we're fighting the same fight, it seems like a lot of our fights sometimes are fought separately. Sorry. But I think the part of the gatherings was to be able to connect one another so that we can share not only stories but resources, what may help another tribe remove their dams, could help another tribe continue their fight. So I think this is all about building relationships with one another and helping uplift each other's work and see where we can help out.
Ma?
Yeah, I just what you've just said is exactly what I was just going to say, that by working together and coming together, that's exactly what's needed. We need to show that we are one and we're all on the same path. And again, by coming together, that is the way that this will be done. And certainly, we're all on board. I know we are here and everybody watching. So anything I can do, anything we can do, just shout.
Absolutely. Let me check in with Howard.
Yes, thank you. Beautiful, beautiful film. High impact. Very, very big impression on me. It's so beautiful to see that power, that emotion, that spirit, and the songs and the togetherness and the mission, the moral message that is throughout it is just so powerful. I am partly responsible for some land on the Elwha River that actually includes 800 feet of the actual river between the former dams. And it's owned by the Center for Whale Research. And we will certainly, in every way possible, help to rewild. That's what we're doing. We're rewilding, basically. We're returning the land the riverfront, everything to as much natural as we possibly can to let nature work her wonders. And sure enough, the salmon love it there. We've seen them, we've filmed them. They should be back now, actually, in September and October. Steelhead, especially headed way upstream, and Chinook in good numbers. It's a beautiful thing to behold, and we're doing it in that same spirit as that film, as much as we can.
That's awesome, Howard. Sk'aliCh'elh.
Well, I just want to raise my hands to Santana for all the work that she does and is going to continue to do. I just love and respect her and want to hold her up. Value her words and her contribution at Children of the Setting Sun. Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut's.
Thank you, Raynell.
Deb Cruz is checking with you. You're unmuted.
Okay. It's a long journey. It's good to see some part of a happy ending. And let's hope that that happy ending can continue to some of our other river systems. Thank you, ladies, for everything.
Something else that she said in the movie was, in the law they call that precedent, and for sure. I mean, this is paving the way, right? This is showing the way that it can be done. It was so good. It was so good to watch. And because that's such an impactful film, Santana, I'm sure it doesn't stop there. What can we expect moving forward with this film and with the precedents that's been set now?
Yeah, we have a more lengthier documentary, a 60-minute documentary that will be coming out in October. That will be airing through PBS. So I think that's the next biggest thing to look out for. That is a part of the Salmon People Project. So it's very multifaceted. We have the film, the documentary aspect, then we have the gatherings, which you witnessed some of that in the video. This year was the 5th annual Salmon People Gathering that we hosted, and so those are always annual, so that's something to always look forward to. Is next year we will host another Salmon People Gathering, and yeah, I think that's the next biggest thing. And then Raynell, did you talk about our One People Gathering yet?
I will, as soon as the questions and things are answered about the documentary. So
then I'll
good
pass
cue.
that over to Raynell when to let her introduce our next event that will be happening. That is super exciting.
Well, do we want to go there? I think we could probably go there. There's a lot of comments. There are not a lot of questions, but again, there's some of the things people are saying, just really thanking you, Santana, for sharing. Collectively there's power in movement. We'll all do this together. Alma said she would love to see a film festival with this film and Resident Orca, The Snake and the Whale, and others, like an environmental film festival. Something going on there, maybe. And some thank yous to you, Howard, for rewilding the Elwha, and just some agreement that this is really emotional, but it's because it's so important to the people and in this community, watching to the orcas, to Toki and her family. The salmon just and the other 137 species that rely on the salmon. So it's such important work. So it's hard not to be emotional about it and to see that it can be done, and it has been done, and you guys are paving the way to show people how to do it in a good way. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I just want to say thank you all. My hands go up to each and every one of you for just sharing your kind words and your emotions and your vulnerability with me. I think it's such a beautiful thing when we're allowed to, or when we can express ourselves in that manner, because I know not a lot of people can. And so after this movie, I mean, I've watched it as so many times and I still get really teary-eyed, especially the part when Alyssa Macy talks about how she will never get to feel, she'll never get to know what it feels like to stand along the river. And then when she asks, or when she proposes the question and they still ask us, why are you broken? You know, that part like always gets me, because like I think throughout this whole, you know, journey of working at Children of the Setting Sun Productions, I've really come to appreciate just the work that we do, and it just teaches me so much as an Indigenous woman, and my connection and my relationship with Mother Earth, but also like with each other. Like, I really believe that, you know, this speaks to like, it is our sacred obligation to protect Mother Earth, and it's important to start thinking, you know, more in that manner of thinking in collective, because when we heal, you know, we help heal those around us, and then when we help heal those around us, then we help heal Mother Earth. And so it's all interconnected. Our healing as individuals is in connection with Mother Earth, and to shift from an individualized mindset of healing to a collective, I think is just so much powerful and impactful. And so to just be welcomed in spaces like this where we can talk about it, I think is just so important. So I really just raise my hands to all of you for welcoming me in this space and allowing me to just share a little bit of our work with you all.
That's so awesome. We're so grateful to have you on here. Thank you so much. Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut's, what's coming up?
Well, it's just an honor to share with everyone and announce that we are continuing the work to create, share, and educate at Children's Setting Sun. So October 22nd is a Netzamot, One Heart, One Mind, One People gathering. And we're inviting you all to join us. It's important that we come together in such turbulent times as humanity is in right now around the globe, and in particular here in the US with our elections, that it doesn't matter what color we are or who we are. We're all part of the human race, and we have an obligation to our ancestors, to our future children, to come together and to fix what's broken, to heal Mother Earth, to come together and heal each other, as Santana was saying. So in that promise to continue the work, it's Netzamot. And so we have quite a good lineup. It'll be storytelling, comedy, traditional music. So here's just a list of some of the folks that'll be performing. Dallas Goldtooth, Amy Bowers Cordalis, Sasha LaPointe will be our MC. Delbert Anderson Quartet. He's from your state, Annette. I know you own New Mexico.
Sometimes I think that, but
Sammy Jensa the third, Black Lodge Singers, Fawn Wood, Tia Wood, and several of our canoe families will join us. And we are planning to start the night off with a tribute, an honor to our Quethamaton relatives, to Orca. So if you can picture in the Paramount Theater, this grand old theater with the orca songs, Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut's swimming. It'll be an event to experience together. We will be live streaming. And what Annette is sharing on the screen is our theater poster with more details about the event. But real importantly is because you're watching on TokiTV, we are going to include you in our friends and family, like we should out of love and respect, that you can go, and Annette will show the website for pre-sales and enter the code NETSAMOT 2024. So that's NETSEMOT 2024. And you can purchase your ticket now. It's $20 for all seating. It is first come, first serve. Tickets will go live on sale to the greater audience on September 20th.
Awesome. And thank you so much. And thank you for the code and that. I'm putting in the link now. I'm going in. So folks, give me just a second and you'll have the direct link. You could just click on it there.
And that's in Seattle.
Yeah, the Paramount Theater, Seattle, Washington. And it's open to everyone. We want everyone to come together to start sharing this gift of gratitude, of hope, and optimism for future generations as one people.
That's really awesome. And I was busy here trying to get the link up and stuff. So it's up on Facebook for those of you watching on YouTube. Just shoot over a message and I'll send it over to you directly. So for the live streaming, do we register as well to get access to that?
Yes, and so you're going to want to cue into settingsunproductions.org. We have a web page called NetSamot, and that'll give you the latest updates from now and through the conclusion of this celebration.
Okay. Awesome. So there's a bunch of links being posted, guys. If you don't get what you need, and then can we go ahead and give us the just so I could put a comment in here or a banner, actually, the code one more time right now?
Yes, it's NetSamot 2024, which is spelled NETSEMOT 2024.
Okay, cool. So put that up just so you guys can see that. Oops. What happens when you have me and Deb Cruz pressing buttons at the same time. All right. Thank you for sharing that. I really look forward to that. That's going to be big. It's going to be big. Howard, are you going to that?
I believe so. Yeah. After hearing this, yes, I think I must. I just put it on my calendar, in fact, 1 minute ago.
Oh, that's really great. That's really great.
So if everybody could reshare this information, the theater holds around 2,900 people, and we do expect it to be sold out.
Wow. Wow. That's really great. Christina, are you going to go? I'm like looking at everyone who's close by. Oh, she's registering right now. I see that. All right, cool. Right on. That's really, really awesome. Oh, I wish, well, yeah, no. I wish I could go. Maybe I can go. I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes I just randomly show up places.
Well, if Delbert Anderson can come, you can come.
There you go. Can I just get a ride? Hitch a ride.
Yeah.
That's really great. Thank you so much. Oops. Oh, there you are, Santana. Every time I do something with the screen, everybody moves. So I'm like, where'd she go? Thank you again so much for being here with us today. It's really, yeah, really, really great.
Yeah, I'm happy to have joined.
That's great. Let's go around the room, just check and see if anyone has any final questions or anything else they want to say before we close up today. I was given strict instructions not to go over because football is starting there on the on the West Coast.
Let's go Hawks.
I missed part of my game. Come on. No, let's go around. Let's just check in real quick. Ma, let's start with you.
All good here, and just really grateful. Just your words are so powerful and so encouraging to hear, and so emotional. So that's about all I can say. But other than, let's breach the dams and
Yeah.
keep sending those letters and postcards to President Biden. Just anything. This is just a printout, and all I'm going to do is write on the back of it, put it in an envelope, and stick the stamp on. So it's so easy, but we've got to come together and pressurize him. So let's breach those dams together.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ma. Christina.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Santana. You're just such a beautiful soul, and your aura is just beaming, and I really have a lot of gratitude for you and what you're doing, and I'm right there behind you, totally. I'm right here with Ma. I got my postcards about reaching the dam. So yeah, and I love the story. It's hard, but it's beautiful. So I really, really appreciate you. I really, really do. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I gotta say, we gotta keep spreading awareness. No matter where you are. Got to work on New Mexico a little bit. You know, like with my breach now signs are like, breach what? I'm like,
Yeah.
well, actually, you know. And so we'll get a bunch of New Mexicans up there. How about that? Let's keep working on that. Deb Cruz, you're muted.
I'm mutated. I'm evolving. I'm evolving. Oh, thank you so much, all of you, and it's wonderful to see Netzimat come back, because the last time we tried to put something together for Netzimat was what, 21 or 20, and COVID hit, and everything had to just come stop. So it's good to see that it's back up again. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you, Santana. Keep your chin up. We're behind you, holding you up as best we can.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Let's check in with Marcia.
I just want to say thank you, Santana, for all your work. It's amazing. I watched that video this morning. I discovered it on YouTube and then watched it again. And like Annette said, you get more if you watch it more than once. And to Raynell's point about the optimism and hope, that's so important. And, especially to young people, it's hard for young people to have that optimism now. And the more we bring it, like, I don't know if you guys, I feel like I'm an elder, I'm old, but we have to keep bringing that to them and give them hope, because that's who we pass this baton to, right? So thank you all for all of that. And this show gives me hope every week. So thanks to everybody.
Super love you, Marcia. And then let's see. Final thoughts, Howard?
Well, my heart and gratitude go out to Santana for this beautiful, beautiful film, and it says so much, and it just uplifts my spirits, and it's a big motivator to do more. And I'll be up on the Elwha this weekend, and hopefully we'll get some great footage or stills of salmon. And next Sunday I'll present those. And I'm always eager for news about the restoration of the Klamath and what's going on the Snake, and just salmon restoration everywhere. So I'll try to bring some news next week.
So thank you, Howard. All right, Santana, we're going to close out with you. Any final words?
Just thank you for providing this space for me to come and join and share a little bit about the work that we're doing, and just for sharing your guys' thoughts and your vulnerability with me is very appreciated. So my hands go up to each and every one of you as well. Haishka.
Yeah, thank you so much, Santana. You guys have a good week. Lots to look forward to. We'll keep posting about October 22nd, right? And
Yes.
thanks. Make sure I'm saying the right thing. And keep sharing, you guys, and share this episode so that other people have the opportunity to watch it and join in the conversation. Or go to YouTube and share their link so that people can for sure watch the film. But it's nice to be able to hear from you, Santana, through this. So thank you so much for doing that. You guys have a good week.
All right.
All right. We'll see you later.
And in doing that, you have shown that all of us can do it. And we will do it. And we are doing it. That's what we're doing on the Klamath. Those dams are going to come down in about a year and a half. And we talk about the Elwha all the time, and say things like, well, they did it, we're doing it. In the law, they call that precedent, right? You set the precedent. So those dams will come down. And just like they're going to come down on the Klamath, they're going to come down on the Columbia. They're going to come down